All right, so welcome to Cooking in the Kitchen with Tia, and tonight we are making this Seminole pumpkin. It's been sitting on the counter for about a year, but before you cook it, you have to save all the seeds because you want to grow some for next year. So it's actually going to be a seed saving video, and I'm going to go through all the steps. This is going to be the long version of how to get this pumpkin and take it to seeds. You can save, regrow, share with all your friends. I've been giving a ton of seeds out this year, so Central Florida is going to be banging with some Seminole pumpkins here. So what you're going to need to get started, of course, a chef's knife and a cutting board. And then you want a bowl to put the seeds in because you're going to pour and clean them, get the water off. And then kind of something to dry them out on. So I like a paper bag. It's a little thicker than a newspaper, but sometimes I'll use the newspaper as an interim to get the goopy and the water off and then get it onto the paper bag to make it a little cleaner. So let's go ahead and get started. So we have one Florida Seminole pumpkin here. This is organically grown heirloom vegetable, and you can see this nice orange color. That means it's completely ripe. And it still does have a wee little green on the top, but this is a nice ripe baby. So we want to cut this open and get out the seeds. We don't want to let it rot because then the seeds might be rotten too. Now I cut it halfway like this. Not like this because I like that direction better. And I just start by getting a good bite in the top of the pumpkin. And then I'll take that all the way around. Try to match up the end with the beginning, and voila. So we have these two halves of the Seminole pumpkin. Now when you get the seeds out, you want to try to only remove the seed and not all the goopy stuff. So it's not like if you're just trying to cook the pumpkin real quick, you just scrape everything out with a spoon. I'm actually going to go in and kind of hand pick these seeds out. And once you get into the biology of the pumpkin here, it does kind of have little pockets of curls that it holds the seeds in. So once you do this a couple times, you'll see what I'm talking about. But you just start one curly cue at a time, and you get in there and you massage it, and then boom, you just have the seeds here. All right, leave all the orange goopy stuff in there, that fibrous stuff. So here's the next one. So I'm gonna kind of uncurl it and get the seeds off. You can tell they're no good if they're flat. But I pick out the not good ones, but I'll put them back in too. So anything like this orange pulpy stuff, put that off to the side. You don't want that. So looking in here, we're gonna grab all these pumpkin seeds. So I got about a quarter of the way done so far. So this is really fun to do, with the family, by yourself, hanging out in the kitchen, but it is a little time consuming. So, whenever you're gonna eat the pumpkin, give yourself an extra half an hour or so to do this. So you can see now I got this first quadrant done, and I'm going to move over to the next little curl here. Like a Seminole pumpkin like this will produce around 200 seeds, so plenty to share. You could even bake some and eat some, but I usually just save them all to share and regrow because these are hard to find on the market. It might be you get 10 seeds for like $5 or something nowadays. So very valuable business here. Maybe one day when I retire, I can sell Seminole pumpkin seeds for a living. So here we are extracting the seeds, and look how I'm doing so far. I got lots of seeds and not very much pulp, so I'm doing a good job. All right, on to the last one here. See these little pockets? And gently massage the seeds off. Put them in the bowl. Get the extra ones. Now, like the pumpkin, they're kind of like a wet seed, so they're used to being in water. I mean, they've been sitting in this pumpkin ever since I grew it last year. And so, you know, when you're doing seed saving, there's the wet seeds and the dry seeds. And so that's important when you go to save seeds, knowing what they like. But generally, tomatoes, cucumbers, you know, all types of melons are wet seeds, and they're in this wet fleshy pulp. So look here, we're taking it apart. We are getting the seeds off. We're leaving the pulp. All right, there we go. So I think I got them all. And this is what you're left with, right like that. So then to cook it, you would scrape this stuff out with a little knife or a spoon. And if you find any more seeds hiding in there, you know, get those tucked out. And then you can bake it whole, like, you know, upside down on the pan, or slice it into slices, a little olive oil, salt and pepper. So then the next thing is we have all these seeds and we are going to rinse them. We're gonna give them like a little triple rinse bath here. So let me do that. So rinsing them in the water, stirring it up, and any orange pulpy stuff, pick that out. And just give them a little massage here to get all the goopy stuff off, and then drain it. And I just put my hand over to the side to let the water out, but I hold the seeds in. Just hold my hand to keep the seeds from coming out, and they're looking pretty good. So you might want to just rinse them one time, or maybe 2 or more times. I can already see some of the seeds that are just flat and they have no bulge to them. They're not any good, and so you can take these kinds out, throw them away. So I usually just kind of try to get any more goopy stuff off them, and then I'll give them one more little rinse. The less water you put in there, the easier it is to drain. So if you want to try to speed up this process a little bit, just use less water. We could probably do this in a colander too, but just one more dish to wash. I don't really like washing dishes, so this works pretty good. All right, so remember, now I'm gonna dump them on that newspaper, and that can be the final resting place for them, or you can put them on the thicker paper. So I'm just gonna be moving these guys around here and trying to get all the water, and I'm seeing a little goop on them. So just kind of move them around, manhandle them a little bit, get all that goop out. That's how you get them real nice and clean. Okay. And I kind of move them around to the drier areas, like I started them in the center and then I move them away to the sides. All right, so let me show you a little bit more. So the next step is putting them onto this paper. So I just move them right over like a little train onto this paper. Try to keep any goop or not viable seeds behind. And just by doing this process of transferring it from one paper to another, you can really get a lot of the stuff off. And here we go, we have some beautiful quality seeds here. So this is just half of the pumpkin, but since there was a lot of seeds in this pumpkin, you know, just half at a time, that way I can use a different sheet of paper and keep all the seeds really clean. So then this old paper here, I'll throw that away or compost it. And then here I have all of the seeds and I'm just gonna spread these out evenly. Again, trying to get off any of the orange goop. And then after you set them out here, they're gonna dry pretty quickly. And so what you can do is just once an hour, just come by and move them around, toss them around a little bit, and then that will help them to dry quicker. And then if you notice any orange goop on them, you know, go ahead and massage that off. And it will probably take, you know, a day or two to let them completely dry. And at that point, then you can put them in the little bag like this. So that's how you go from having a whole pumpkin, taking the seeds out, drying them, cleaning them, and drying them thoroughly, and then bagging them up for the next time. So I hope you had fun in this video. It's something I love to do, saving pumpkin seeds and papaya seeds. So stay tuned for the next episode.